Recording. All right. So, thank you all for joining me, first of all. Today is going to be a pretty medium pace flow about focused on the core and the rib area. And before we start, let me actually turn the waiting room off that way. If anybody shows up, we will just have them in. All right. Waiting room disabled. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So we're going to do a medium paced flow, basically focused on your core, your rib area, connecting with your core and largely opening up your ribs. The ribs can become really tight throughout day-to-day activities and just different stuff that we forget to think about, like our breathing and posture and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start today in a seated position. So if you want to just go ahead and find your way to your mat, and we will get your version of a seated position. So you can have your legs crossed for what would be an easy pose, or if it's more comfortable to you, to have your legs extended, or maybe in like a butterfly pose, whatever feels good in your legs. Let's just go with that. And we're going to start there. So find your easy pose and let's go ahead and sit up tall. Start by taking some deep breaths. You can bring your hands to your knees, palms facing up or down, or if you'd like, you can have your hands on the ground. And since we're going to be focusing on your core and your ribs, this is really the seat of your breath, the seat of your confidence. Your solar plexus area is the seat of your personal power in life. So we're going to really be trying to find that fire and connecting with that today. And we're going to sit up tall. And as we said, it's the seat of your breath. So the very, very first thing that you want to do is connect with your breathing. So let's find that place deep down in your belly where you can take some deep breaths right behind your belly button, breathing into your spine even. You can also take a hand, maybe put one hand over your belly and then one hand right around where your collarbone is. And really breathe into that hand on your belly. If you want, you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, nice and relaxed, for the ocean breath, Ujjayi breath. And as you inhale through your nose, imagine the waves pulling away from the shore. And then you exhale and the waves come back in. Let's take a couple breaths like that. Good. And then as we inhale, let's go ahead and bring your arms to either side of your body, wherever your hands were at before. We're gonna bring your left palm to the mat. Start with just some side bends. So bring your left palm down to your yoga mat. You can face your fingers away from you. We're gonna really find some length in your spine as you breathe in, and then bring that right hand up to the sky. So tall spine, and try not to lean too much to your left. Really just breathing into the side of your right body and grounding down through that left hand. And keep your sit bones really nice and firm on the mat as well. Breathing in and just stretching. And then let's breathe out and lean gently now over to your left, but still keep reaching up. So you're not collapsing as you're holding this pose, right? You're still reaching the whole time. And then breathe in. Let's come back to the center. Go ahead and reach both hands up. Breathe out. Take a big exhale here, and then breathe in. Let's bring your right hand down. Breathe out. And just like stretch into this pose for a second. Breathe into it, grounding down through the bottom of your body. Breathing in, pressing into the mat with that right hand, but still keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. And now let's breathe in. Breathe out and reach over and up with your left hand, stretching that whole left side body. You should feel it from your hip all the way up to your shoulder. Breathing into the stretch, exhaling, keeping your spine nice and supported by engaging those muscles in your abdomen. Then let's inhale, come back to the center, reach both hands up. And bring the hands back down. Maybe shake the shoulders out a little bit here. You can do some shoulder shrugs, kind of shimmy the shoulders side to side. Maybe tilt your head from one side to the other. Just get nice and loose with the shoulders and the rest of your body. And then we're going to do some light twists here in this seated position. So starting by grounding again with the left hand into the mat, we're going to start the same way, sort of, and then go into our twist from there. So let's keep that left hand down onto the mat. Take a deep breath in. Let's guide that hand up towards the sky, the right hand, fingertips towards the sky. Keep your gaze forward in front of you. Your shoulders dropping down away from your earlobe so that you stay nice and relaxed in that shoulder, but still reaching up with the fingertips. And then let's bring your right hand down across your body on an exhale to the left knee. So you're bringing your right hand to the left knee. Still grounding with the left hand into the mat, right? We can just slightly have that hand resting on the knee. You can bring it to the inside of the knee for a little bit more of a stretch. Wherever you feel good, you can even keep on the front of the knee and just kind of breathe into this, sitting in this gentle twist here. We can breathe in. Keep your hand on that knee, left hand down onto the mat. Sit up tall on your inhales. And then as you exhale, just see if you can breathe into your twist a little. So sit up tall and breathe in. Exhale and twist. Sit up tall, breathe in. Breathing into your low belly and then pushing that air out of your belly. Then let's come back to center. Reach both arms up, breathe in. And let's bring your right hand down to the mat now. Left hand to your right knee. So you have the left hand on your right knee. And again, we're grounding by pressing that right hand into the mat, pressing your sit bones into the mat, And then try and maybe like tuck your low ribs in a little bit to really support that breath. Keeping our left hand on the right knee. Let's sit up tall. Inhale. And exhale and twist. Just gently twisting so your gaze will slide over towards your right side of the room. Breathe in. And breathe out. Just come back to center. Breathe in. Reach the hands up. Exhale. And as you continue to breathe, we're going to go into a little bit of a seated forward fold. So go ahead and keep that breath strong. Keep the spine long. And we're going to reach the hands up. And wherever you're sitting, let's just lean forward. A little bit of a cross-legged forward fold here. Just letting your forehead come towards the mat, your palms come towards the ground, stretching out to wherever you feel good. Relaxing your shoulders. And then let's come all the way up onto your hands and knees. And if you need to turn sideways, kind of get back oriented correctly on your mat, we're going to go to your hands and knees for a tabletop position. So in this position, tabletop, we're going to have your knees and your hands on the ground, right? So you want your knees to be around under your hips and your hands to be under your shoulders. Fingers spread nice and wide. And really think about pressing your knuckles and your fingertips into the mat. That's going to help support your wrists and shoulders. Always keep your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And then with your feet, you can either keep your toes curled under here or pressing the tops of your feet into the mat, kind of extending them. Whatever supports your knees best there. So wherever you're at in this tabletop, we're going to come to a nice neutral spine. Breathing into your belly. And here we can really let gravity help you breathe. And that's awesome. So we're going to take some deep breaths, pressing your fingers into the mat, pressing your feet into the mat, keeping your spine nice and lengthy, neutral. Breathing into the belly. Let's do a nice audible exhale through the mouth. Breathing in and exhaling. This time as you inhale, let your belly drop for a cow. So we're dropping the belly. Your chest is going to come forward and through your arms towards the ceiling a little bit. You can look forward and up a little bit, breathing in, dropping your belly, and then exhale. And we're going to curve the spine up like a cat for your cat pose, pressing the feet and the fingers into the mat, breathing in deep. And exhaling here. Then we're going to go through a few of those at the speed of your own breath. So go with your breath, breathe in and let your belly drop. And then breathe out. Let your spine curve back up like a cat, arching its back. And then gravity drops your belly back down. And breathe out, arching your spine. A couple more of these cat cows, really digging into your breath. You can feel your breath extend all the way down, almost behind your belly button. As you curve your spine, exhale, tucking the belly, tucking the low ribs. Breathing in. All right, and wherever you're at, let's find our way back to your neutral spine position we started in. Okay, so you've got your fingertips pressing into the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in, and then we're gonna gently lift your knees. Go ahead and curl your toes. So wherever your feet were at, curl your toes under, lift your knees up off the mat. We're gonna make our way to downward dog. So lifting your knees up, leading with your hips, press the hips up and back. Shoulders pulling away from your ears, so you're still pressing into those fingertips. Let your heels become nice and heavy. And that belly, that place where we found that fire earlier when we woke our breath up, let that belly come towards your legs. Just breathe here. Good, and then let's come forward and through your hands a little bit. We're gonna make our way to a plank position. Pressing your toes into the mat. Keep your spine and the back of your body nice and neutral. So what we want to avoid is just lifting in the hips area or dropping in that area. Nice neutral spine. Breathing into that belly. Tucking your low ribs for support here. Good. And then from this plank position, what we're going to do is shift your weight over to your left side. Come onto the side of your left foot and do a little bit of a side plank here. So you can keep your right foot on the ground in front of you, stacked here for extra support. Or you can tuck that right foot against your left foot, keeping the hips coming up high here, so don't let your hip drop down. We want to support that by breathing into those ribs. And then go ahead and reach your right arm up toward the sky. Breathe in and out. And we're going to gently come back towards the center. Both hands on the mat, both feet on the mat. Breathing in, tucking the low ribs up and into your body to find support here. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. So you're going to turn to your right foot, onto the side of your right foot, grounding through your right hand, pressing the fingertips. Again, you can keep your left foot in front of you, grounded onto the mat for a little extra support. Or you can step that foot next to your right foot, stacking it up. Nice lift in the hips so that those hips don't start to sag. Breathing into those core muscles. Lift your left arm up towards the sky for one breath. Tucking the belly. All right, let's breathe out. Come back to our center. And then let's lower all the way down to the ground, nice and slow. Resting here for a second with your hands on either side of your upper rib cage, kind of your chest, upper rib cage area, feet pressing into the mat. Just breathe in and gently lift only your chest and shoulders slightly up off the mat, cobra pose. Getting a little bit of stretch in those shoulders and chest here. Now we're back to the ground. And then we're going to press into your feet, press up off the mat, and back into our downward dog pose here. Let's go downward dog. Hips leading up towards the sky, up and back with the hips. Again, we want a neutral spine here, so Just avoid too much curve in your spine, and no bones in our body are perfectly straight as far as I'm aware, so you will not have a perfectly straight spine. Nice and neutral and comfortable position for your spine. Breathing into the low belly. Let's go ahead and lift your right foot up towards the sky. Left heel is heavy towards the mat. Just point those toes up towards the sky. And now let's bring your right knee up and in towards your nose. And we'll go back up towards the sky. And bring that right foot back towards the ground, onto the ground rather. Let the right heel drop heavy to the mat. Tuck your low ribs in so we keep that core support, pressing into the mat with those fingertips. Let's lift the left toes up towards the sky. Breathing here, breathe into your belly. Try and keep your hips square to the mat. And then let's bring your knee towards your nose. All the way up, nice. Core waking up here. And pressing your hands into the mat. Let's press up and back with that foot. Tucking your belly in. Breathing out. Let's bring your feet back to the mat. And then all the way, knees back down to the mat. This time, let's bring your both arms actually, down to the mat. Forearms. And we're going to take a puppy dog pose here. So you've got your forearms on the mat, hands pressing into it, and your knees on the mat as well. Take some nice deep breaths here. Let's bring your forehead down. Puppy dog pose. Just stretch your hands out wherever you feel good. You can walk the hands forward a little bit, or you can keep them right around your head. Just gently spreading your fingertips into the mat. And then let's bring the hips back towards the feet for child's pose. Forehead stays on the mat. In your child's pose, you can bring your knees wide. So almost as wide as the mat if you want. You can keep them closer together wherever your comfortable child's pose is. Let's go to that. And we woke up our breathing a little bit earlier. Let's come back to that now. Relaxing your shoulders, palms on the mat. Breathing in and out. All right, and as we take our next inhale, let's come back up onto your hands and knees. And then lifting the knees, pressing the hands into the mat. Back to our downward dog, hips up towards the sky. Use your breath to really support you here, breathing into your low belly. Let those shoulders relax back and away from your ears. Let the neck hang heavy. And again, let's reach that right foot up and back towards the sky. And then this time we're going to bring your knee towards your nose. Stay here for just a second. And then we're going to bring your right foot all the way through between your hands onto the mat. Grounding through those feet. Let's take a deep breath in. Coming up, lifting up from the hips. Up with the breath. all the way into our warrior one pose. So your back foot can be at about a 45-degree angle, front foot straight towards the front of the mat. Let's keep a good bend in that front knee as well, hands reaching up towards the sky. Breathe in. Square your hips towards the front of the mat if you can. Work towards that. Pressing strong feet into that mat. And then let's go ahead and turn towards your side. So turn towards your left, letting your hands come down to shoulder length. Back foot opens up to a 90-degree angle. Front foot is going to stay facing towards the front of the mat. And both of those hands reaching out, side to side for warrior two pose. And here we're going to get some really good stretching in the side of the body. So we're going to go into an extended side angle pose, followed by a reverse warrior, and cycle through that a few times. All right. And I'll go ahead and walk you through those poses. So we're going to lift your front palm, your right palm, towards the sky. Keep grounding through those feet. Deep, deep breaths into the belly. And then on your next inhale, let's sweep that front hand up towards the sky, up, up, up. Back hand is going to come back down towards your leg. Reaching up and back, and you're going to stretch with your right side body all the way up and back. Grounding through the feet, breathing into your front body to keep a nice neutral spine. Just feel that stretch in your hip, in your side body, in your ribs. And then exhaling, let's come back to our neutral, come back through, and then you're going to bring your right forearm down onto the right leg and bring your left arm up towards the sky. Extended side angle pose. Reaching your left hand all the way forward towards the front of the mat. Feel that connection from your left pinky all the way down your body into your left pinky toe. Breathing into your tummy here. Let's exhale and come back up and through into our reverse warrior. So your left hand is going to come to your leg. Right hand flips up, reaching up and back towards the sky. Reverse warrior. You can keep a little bit of a bend in that right knee if you want. And on our breath out, we're going to rotate back towards the front. Right forearm to the right knee. Left arm reaches up towards the sky, all the way through towards the front of the mat. Make sure you're grounding through your feet here. You can sort of press into the outsides of your feet. Press your toes into the mat. You'll really get some support from those feet. And breathing into the belly and out, nice and supported. Let's come all the way back up, hands to center, and then right hand comes up towards the sky, up and over. One last time for a reverse warrior, stretching that side body, extending the spine. Breathing into your rib cage. And this time, let's come through, rotate back and bring your right fingertips a little further down this time. So we're going to keep the right arm straight as well, almost like we're just rotating these warrior two arms. Just rotating our straight arms down for a triangle pose. Keep a soft bend in your front knee, and your front fingers can come to the side of your leg, down to your ankle, all the way down to the mat. Whatever feels good for you in your triangle pose. If you have a block, this would be a great time to take your block and find a good height for it here. Left arm is reaching up towards the sky. Focus on that breath here, breathing into your left side body, left hip, left ribs. Breathing in. Exhale, let's come all the way back up to our warrior two. Arms reaching side to side. Let your fingertips drop. Shoulders away from the ears. Pressing into the feet. Stand up tall. Breathe in. And out. And then let's rotate that left foot back to around a 45-degree angle. So we're coming back to our warrior one here. Front foot towards the front of the mat, back foot 45-degree angle. And let's lift those hands up towards the sky on a big inhale. Good, and then exhale, and let's step the back foot forward, feet together at the front of the mat. And let those hands drop down to your sides. Open the palm towards the front for you. So have your palms facing the same direction your eyes are looking right now. Nice tall mountain pose here. Ground through your feet. Really feel the feet beneath your ground beneath your feet. And dig those toes into the ground. Stand up tall, breathe into your belly. Let those shoulders relax, shoulder blades wrapping around. Breathing out, breathing in. And on your next inhale, let's reach the hands up towards the sky. And coming through the middle, breathing out, fold forward from the hips. So you really want to hinge from your hips here and fold forward, bring your hands down, reaching towards the mat. You can bring your hands to the mat, to your feet, to your ankles, to blocks if you've got blocks. Hinge from your waist. Let your head hang here for a minute. Let your shoulders relax. Let it all hang down here, breathing into that belly gently. And breathe in. Let's lift halfway, so you can bring your hands to your shins or your hands to your knees or thighs. Lift up halfway on your inhale and release back to the ground on your exhale. And let's inhale again and head towards a chair pose. So you're going to come up with your hands, let the hips and the waist drop down. Knees stay bent around 90 degrees here. Quick chair pose, really working those core muscles, and then exhale and let's fold back down. Letting it hang here, your head just releases. Breathe out and then inhale and come all the way back up to our mountain pose. All right, let's go ahead and step back towards the middle or back of your mat so we have a little more space if you were in the front. And let's reach up on an inhale from our mountain tall, stretching up mountain pose. And then exhale, let's go ahead and fold forward one more time, grounding through those feet. Keep the knees bent. This time, go ahead and lean your weight forward, bring your hands to the mat. And we're going to walk our way into downward dog here. Cool. And so again, in your downward dog, you want to make sure that you're just keeping a good neutral spine. And whatever feels good for you, that's always what we're moving into. So nice neutral spine here. Hands pressing into the mat. Heels are heavy, supporting from your core. We're going to repeat that little sequence on our left side. So let your right heel drop heavy towards the mat. Left leg is going to reach up towards the sky. And then your left knee comes towards your nose, pressing into those hands, lifting with your ribs. Bring your foot all the way through between your hands. Plant that left foot. All right, and then let's keep that back foot at a 45-degree angle. Breathing in, lifting with the breath, lifting from the hips. Breathing all the way up into Warrior One. Take a couple deep breaths. Really ground ourselves into the breath here. Our breathing is the fire of life. It's the fire that's going to keep you going, get you stretched, get you warmed up, get you through hard times. Breathe into that fire right in the center of your belly. And let's open up to the right. Let your right foot come to that 90-degree angle for Warrior Two. Hands come to your shoulder height. So you've got them extending to both sides, pressing into the outsides of both feet as well for some support. And then let's turn your left palm up towards the sky. We're reaching up and back for Reverse Warrior. And your right hand is going to come to your leg. Remember, stay in extension here. Lots of extension in the side of your left body. Reaching up with that left hand, and let's breathe out and come back through Warrior Two. Turn that right hand up towards the sky. This time we're reaching up and over. Left arm is going to come to your knee. Right arm is going to reach up and over all the way till you're reaching towards the front of your mat. Tuck those ribs in. Keep your chest rotating forward. Fingertips reaching towards the front of the room. Feet grounding into the mat. Let's breathe in and come back up. Warrior Two. And your left palm towards the sky. Up and back. Reverse Warrior. You're breathing into your belly, reaching your left palm up and over your head. And rotating that back through our Warrior Two. Flipping your other palm up and over, arm to your knee. Make sure you don't turn too much into your right side here. Really open up that right side. Keep your chest nice and open as you reach towards the front of the mat. Let's breathe and stand back up. Warrior Two. Last time for our reverse warriors. Let's lift that palm up towards the sky, left palm. Right hand comes to the right leg, reaching up and over. Lots of stretching in the side of those ribs. Breathing into the front of the ribs, back of the body. And then we're going to come back through all the way down to our triangle pose here. So left fingertips reaching down inside that foot. Right fingertips reaching up towards the sky, and we're grounding through your feet here. Again, rotating your front body towards the front of your room so that you're not rotating inward. And if you want to grab your block and set your block inside your foot here. If your hand is just hanging out right here inside your shin, that's great. If you make it all the way down to the mat, that's great. If you have your block, that's great. It's very supportive. And then let's go ahead and breathe, stand all the way back up, our warrior two. And then give that back foot a little bit of a rotation, 45-degree angle. Front foot is reaching towards the front of the room, and our hips aim towards the front of the mat, reaching the hands up for warrior one. Breathe in deep here. And then moving with confidence, let's step that back foot up to meet the left foot into our mountain pose. We're reaching those hands up towards the sky, grounding with the feet into the mat. Breathing in deep. Lift those shoulders and ribs. Reach with your hands, lengthen the spine. And then let the hands come back down, palms facing forwards. And then let's go ahead and again, step it back. Give yourself some space on the mat. This time we're going to go through downward dog into child's pose. So if you just want to head on down to child's pose and take a rest, that's totally fine as well. We're going to find our way there by taking a big breath in, reaching the hands up. And then folding forward, breathing out. Then lift halfway, breathe in, hands come to the shins or knees or thighs. Folding and exhale, let everything hang nice and heavy. And then coming into chair pose, let the hips drop, breathing in, hands lift up towards the sky, gaze comes towards the front of the mat. Breathe in deep, supporting from your core here, pressing those feet into the mat. Squeeze in towards your midline with your thighs in this position also, and that can really help support. And on an exhale, let's fold forward again. Go ahead and bring your hands to the mat, lean your weight forward again a little bit. Step those feet back and find your downward dog. Heels are heavy. Fingertips, knuckles pressing into the mat to support the wrists. Nice bend in the elbows, bend in the knees. Breathe into that core. Feel the space in your ribs, in your core body, in your sides of your body. And then as we exhale, let's come forward and through into a plank position again. And then lower to your knees. And let the hips come all the way back into that child's pose. I'm going to take a few deep breaths here in child's pose. Taking a nice rest after all those big stretches. And then coming back up, let's find our way to a seat here as we enter our last little sequence of poses. These are going to be all seated. So we're going to find our way to a seated staff pose. Extend your legs in front of you. Really ground those sit bones, ground your hips down into the mat. And if you have blocks, you're welcome to take your blocks, or even if you don't have blocks, just like thick books, onto both sides of your body. If you need a little more room, or a little more height rather, for your hands, or you can just bring your hands down to the mat on either side of your hips. And extend your arms, stretch your shoulders, open your chest up, and just sit up really tall here. And feel how your core, your ribs, all the muscles in your body can really help you sit up taller. Open your chest up. Let those hands rest on the mat. Let those heels be heavy on the mat. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and bring your knees up. Bring your hands up and reach forward. Ground down through those sit bones, engaging your core muscles. Lengthen your spine. We're going to just lean back gently. Lift your feet slightly off the mat, rolling all the way down on your spine, one vertebrae at a time, to lower your back to the ground. And let's let those knees come into your chest here. So you're hugging your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms around. Let the tailbone be heavy towards the mat. Breathing in. And then we're going to go ahead and release your right leg down all the way, heel to the mat. Keep the left leg lifted slightly. A 90-degree bend in the knee. And you can keep that left foot flexed. And let's just get a nice pull that left leg into your chest. You can wrap your hands around the shin and pull. Keep your core nice and activated here. Although we're lying down, we still want to be focused on that breath. Entering your belly, blowing your belly up like a balloon. And then coming up and back out of your body. And then very, very slowly, let's release that left leg all the way down to the mat. And lift your right leg up, 90-degree bend, a little flex in that foot. Breathing into your belly, shoulders are heavy. And let's hug that knee into your chest. So one knee is hugging into your chest, the other leg is relaxed into the mat. And we're still breathing here. Feel free to close your eyes or let the eyelids become really nice and heavy. And breathe in. And out. Release that leg. Then go ahead and reach both arms up towards the mat, top of the mat. Stretch your feet towards the other end of the mat. And let's get a big full body stretch here. All right, and then bring the arms back down. We're going to find your version of a nice resting position, nice shavasana here to finish up our practice. So you can bring your arms down to the ground, let your palms come towards the sky, arms at your sides, hands across your belly, across your chest. If you want to come back to the connection to your breath, you can again have one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. If you like to have maybe put something under your knees here. That's always a good option too. If you have a bolster, a block, a nice thick pillow, put that under your knees. Or even bring your knees up, bring your feet to the mat, and keep that tailbone pressing down into the mat. Whatever you feel feels good to you. You're just going to come into that nice resting position. Take some nice deep breaths into your belly. Feel how your breath may have changed since we started today. And just feel the effects of all those big stretches in your ribs, creating space for that fire of life. One of the mantras most closely associated with the solar plexus chakra is Om Mani Padme Hum. It means praise to the jewel in the lotus flower. It means I awaken the energy in my solar plexus chakra. You're awakening that energy every time you breathe. And you're welcome to stay here for a few minutes. Take some deep breaths. Let your body rest. I'm going to play some soft notes on the singing drum. Do a little humming, chanting, and singing along. Feel free to join in if you feel so inclined. If I do any words, it'll be Om or Om Mani Padme Hum. Or feel free to just stay resting in your Shavasana for as long as you like and listen. Om Mani Padme Mm. If you are still in Shavasana, lying down, go ahead and start to wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes. Flutter your eyelids open if they were closed. Bring some awareness into your body. Feel the strength and the fire that you've cultivated inside your solar plexus chakra today, inside your body. With only your breath, you can awaken that fire anytime. Always remember that. I hope that you found it a little bit today. Thank you so much for your time and for joining me. And I hope you remember to come back to that breath anytime you need it. Namaste. All right, and that's where I'm going to be ending the recording. So
It was so much fun.
so
I'm so like relaxed and
good.
sleepy.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, if you guys want to hang out, share anything, I'd love
Did
to.
they make you like design your own routine? And also, how do you remember the order?
Yeah, there's some aspect like that. Some of the projects you have to do are designing your own, and then like filming or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I practice the routines a lot before I like lead them, and usually I have like some like cheat sheets off to the side hidden actually. So I didn't like fully remember the whole thing, but
Yeah, you had pretty good flow for the whole thing. Like it had good pacing.
thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Mhm. Yeah, I really
Well,
enjoyed it. It was actually kind of hard. I did like 80% of it because I I've had wrist surgery, or like I broke like 5 bones in my body from a
mm,
bike accident about 3 years ago.
mhm,
And so I haven't worked out or like trying to do much physical therapy since that happened. So like it was hard on my wrists. Like that,
mm.
like all the downward dog into the plank was really hard. So I only did it the first time, not the second time.
Yeah. That's that's totally fine. Those downward dog into plank sequences can be a little bit um
Yeah, like
intense
my shoulders
sometimes,
are really tense
especially
most
hands
of the
out.
time.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Well, yeah, and anytime you have an injury like that too, you have to be careful about how hard you kind of work that
Right.
spot in your body too. But I'm
Didn't you
glad you
Yeah,
still
no.
enjoyed it.
put it in the put the weight in the fingertips, not in the wrists?
Well, I
Yeah,
That
tried to
that's
put my
one.
weight in the fingertips. That was weird because like I tried to like press like down the ground, but my fingers like
Mhm,
they didn't want to like press into the mat. So I was like,
mm.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or
It's a little bit of an odd sensation at first, yeah, to like
I've never
some
even thought to do that before. I was like, oh, I can actually do this with my hands. What?
yeah. Yeah, you could maybe try that even in like some less intense positions that would be on your wrist, like maybe just in the hands and knees, and
Mm.
just try like putting the weight in and pressing into your fingers. And it's not just your fingers, it's really like distributed across your whole palm, but pressing into your fingers and into the knuckles is going to help you kind of visualize and get that pressure there.
Okay. I'll try that next time. Thank you.
I'm like trying it
Or
right now, seated with my hands spread wide.
yeah, that was a game changer for me when I kind of learned that that was how you were supposed to do it. And it takes a lot of the pressure off your shoulders as well.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, because I'm just starting yoga.
hmm
I haven't done it too many times, but I want to like try it
hmm
again because I'm working out. And so like it's like a lot of the stress has been my shoulders. Like it just
hmm
I can't get rid of it during the stretches.
Yeah. Well, what I plan on doing soon, once I get this certification done, I want to design kind of a whole beginner series that's like easy on the joints, easy on like shoulders and stuff, because those are some of the more common issues that people have going into yoga. And so once I get that, I can definitely let you know, and maybe that would help out some.
That would be very nice. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Do you plan on doing any more virtual Zooms?
Yeah, I do
Zoom
plan
yogas?
on continuing to do this for a while, a few weeks at least. Not sure if I'll stick to Mondays or if I'm going to switch to a different day. I'm trying to figure out what day is good for most people that are interested.
Mhm.
So I may try like a couple different days, but
Well, I'm
Yep.
definitely interested.
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it and were able to benefit from it. So yeah, I'll definitely try and keep everybody updated on when I'll be doing more stuff like this as well.
All right, Kara. Good night, and thank you for doing this. And I'll see you next time.
Good night. Thank you.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.